Okay, hello and welcome to the Asteroid Belt tournament. We are on match 3A2. We are on series. We have Track Penguin, Clippy, Morgan, and that Tacticus as our players. I see a lot of high prices here. What do you think about this map?
What I think about it is I'm sorry there's not a scientist available, because up in the north west corner there's some salt water. Salt increases the productions of farms, and if you're scientists, you can mine that water directly from the ground and not have to get water and then turn it into food. So considering food is starting high, that would be a very interesting start, but you might be able to make a different found work that, because there's also some nice high water near there.
Oh, I forgot to mention that I'm Rahi, and casting with me is Manikapin.
Has been founded.
I should have said that.
So
a nomadic HQ has been founded.
With a lot of silicon on this map, I'm not surprised to see 2 nomads. No nukes, that's good. And then with this being a glass colony, later on, that silicon will nicely go into glass production after it's used for a bunch of upgrades. Trad has got a nice kind of expansive thing going down here where he's got aluminum iron tiles, and since they both need mines to mine them, he essentially takes 2 of his claims, one which would be aluminum and one which would be iron, and puts them together and gets the adjacency bonus and gets both of them at once, and it's just a very nice move there.
Yeah. The combo tile itself is nice, but I think Tragic have made a better move if he went into 1 combo tile and double steel mill, because steel started high, buying steel will be difficult. However, he did buy the electronics, which made use of the nomad consumption into electronics.
Yes, and then when they upgrade him or have to buy that, that'll come back at them. Now
power, the food has been high and is still high, and power is also rising very fast with 2 steel users and some colony consumption. So there are opportunities there. You can make power money, you can make food money, and you can also make steel money, it turns out.
And Trat is looking to try to pay off his debt and then make that power money by going into 2 nuclear plants. First to do it, and he put a goon on them, so even if someone tries to EMP it, they have a 50-50 shot at hitting the rock that gives Trat then an EMP and pops his goon, or they can only take out 1 because the goon squad will protect the other from an EMP.
Yeah.
And Clippy there is going into farms, try to get that food money along with Death Tacticus.
Although Trat has started with that, which interferes with his plan to earn power money, other players are not really in power until now. Morgan has gone into double nuclear plant, so Morgan still has chance to make some power money here and go to HQ3, get into good markets like glass farm, or maybe electrolysis reactors. Auction
sold.
Goes to Morgan.
Now, yep, and a claim is worth quite a bit on series because of how high prices can get. And water is going up. You see a lot of people moving into solar condensers,
An elite HQ has been upgraded,
which will also support the farms consuming everything. Now, what's going to be slightly sad for the people with farms is that the colony has started putting out its own farms. So the colony is now only consuming 0.44 food. So that food price is going to be having a lot of downward pressure on it, which is going to mean that food is not going to be as profitable for long.
Currently, I like DT's position into this heavy commitment into glass kilns. because the colony is consuming 1.4 glass, so even if BP was auto selling double glass kiln, it would not reduce the price, and he's getting the constant profit from the colony. Of course, he overcommitted into glass, getting to triple, get more adjacency, and overproduce it while the price is still rising, and while no one else is producing glass, which is a very good strategy. Morgan is now getting into double glass to contest this market.
Which, if you let someone just get away with a market, they will just be able to make criminal amounts of profit off of it and then buy you out. So, good move to contest. We see Clippy here going into an elite pleasure dome by the colony, which is going to be the target of lots of ire from the other players, because elite pleasure domes make a lot more.
Wow.
And rather than try to target that pleasure dome, which they know might be protected, they just basically took out the rest of his base. And then, to add insult to 2 injuries, someone put a pirate down in between Clippy's base and the pleasure dome. And what that'll do is the pirate will then steal the chemicals going to the pleasure dome, which means Clippy's got to ship them more often for more debt with fuel, and has got to then give that money to an opponent. But unsurprisingly, Clippy is going into liquid batteries because of the many solar condensers, but water is dropping.
One thing I want to point out is that Morgan did win this water tile with 24k auction. However, he could have returned it and made solar condensers near his base. And what's bad about this double water pump is that while they're making a lot of water, they're consuming a lot of fuel. And fuel, look at the fuel price, it's 159. So this is money is going to someone else, like Death Tacticus DT, getting into, who has been into triple electrolysis reactors, making 2.42 electrolysis the chemicals fuels per second, which is really strong to market to be in right now. I think DT is in a solid lead right now, followed by Threat Penguin and Morgan.
Is online.
Yeah,
It looks like
I'd have to agree with...
under heavy fire, maybe.
Clippy is. Now, Clippy's an elite, so elites come back in the late game if they allow the elite to live, so sometimes some early pain is what you need to do to keep that elite down. But because elites, because they start with 2 extra shares in their stock, they are highly immune to majority buys. And so,
of majority buyout, I think that Tacticus has a chance to majority buy up Morgan at this point.
Is open for business.
He has 120k in stock, although the window is closing because Morgan is earning enough money to secure himself. Power has risen again. Threat has never scraped out of the nuclear plants when the power crashed, and so he's earning power money again.
And that is very, very important, because those nuclear plants cost quite a bit of steel. So, and considering the price of steel, protecting that investment can be a good thing of turning that off just temporarily while
We're not surprised, just disappointed.
waiting for power to creep back up. The one thing Trat has failed to do, though, is secure a good source of uranium, and that is all the way on the other side of the map.
Oh, look at the uranium price, 120.
I think, and he's doubling down and going into 3 more reactors. Well, with power being the price it is,
Oh, did you see this?
You would not believe who
Threat
caught
has mutiny
red-handed.
goon, Clippy's
New building is available for
and
auction.
this goon worked. So Threat is probably going to secure this nanotechnology patent.
which is critical considering. Well, actually, no. Death Tacticus is going to get it in 8 seconds.
Oh.
So the colony here has decided that the elite has been getting too much pleasure money, and is auctioning off a pleasure dome, which
that's really
to trap
cheap.
that is nice.
The pleasure dome went for 12k, which is earning moderate amount of 151 per second. However, this can just be a tile or anything else, so it went for too cheap.
The black market is open for business.
Indeed. And now Travis, since he got beat out to nanotechnology, switched his patent into virtual reality to boost that pleasure dome he just got. So, taking advantage of the situation there.
Yeah.
The engineers have
So,
advanced our
DT
production.
was in a big lead in the earlier game. However, I think Threat has catched it up. However, DT is optimizing. Like Clippy is in double. Is optimizing 2.
The black
DT is
market is
optimizing
online.
2. So it's just
And DT
close between the
has already
two.
optimized.
However,
Has been upgraded.
yeah.
Chems once, so he's first into that race. And now we see here Trat is putting 2 metal mines up to get some uranium next to a high that's sitting there. Now, he's going for teleportation, and he probably needs that teleportation because fuel is still ridiculously expensive, and shipping uranium, even as a expansive all the way across the map, will be painful.
Okay. Right now, Threat would be very sad to lose the nanotechnology because look at this triple nuclear plants producing nothing. So it would have been nice if he could have scrapped it and built another one without much cost.
The black market is online.
It would have been nice, but Death Tacticus got that. Nanotech tends to be a pretty useful patent.
Lots of
And now,
actions going around.
yep, on that patent lab. Now, the one nice thing about being an elite is you can get patents people already have, and elites also use steel. So you'll see right now that Clippy is also going into. Well, that patent lab is now Trat's again for another few seconds while he keeps running for teleportation.
Optimization routine successful.
Cold fusion auction. Players will be catching their breath
Now-
in this hectic black market
Auction unclaimed.
situation.
Now,
The engineers have
for
advanced
this,
our
I
production.
might have liked Clippy to pick this up because Clippy has liquid batteries, and what that would do is it would allow Clippy to not have to worry so much about the power market, which can get out of control. If Clippy could have got it for cheap. Otherwise, Clippy can still patent it even if someone else got it
The
through
black
elite
market is
power.
open for business.
Cold fusion is a double-edged sword, but when played properly, when you have a lot of water, it can be very
Our
powerful
method is
tool.
available for auction.
So Death Tacticus is using the early money from the early lead to buy into Threat Penguin, who is also making solid amount of money with good optimizations.
Congratulations.
I think DT is winning in this race because DT got a nice
Optimization
boost
routine
from this
successful.
double uranium mines,
The engineers have
which was
advanced our
once
production.
160 or so, and he got almost all the money from it because no one else was in good amount of uranium.
And that was actually Trat who was using a lot of that uranium, so his power play is now coming back in the end to show that if you unsupport a market, the profit goes elsewhere. Profit doesn't disappear.
Yeah, always have to be careful of uranium in series.
Our methods continue to improve. black market is online.
Nice EMP on the DT's chemical refineries because they had 3 optimizations in there, so they were earning much more money than other users. Like Thread is earning 215 and DT is earning 340-60 from this chemical refinery, which is really good tile to have now.
And that's important also because there's no chemical consumption at the colony at this point.
The engineers have advanced our production.
If someone else is producing it, you know, it's going to kill the market a lot faster.
In the meanwhile, what I want to point out is that Morgan is also making good amount of money from electronics and glass kiln, and no one else is contesting that market. Oh, maybe DT... No. Morgan... DT and Morgan is both in electronics. But Morgan is only the only one in glass market. So if he wants, he might be able to hack it up. Make use of it.
Here Trap is going into another triangle of chemicals. And has even turned his uranium mine into chemicals, so Trad is running 8 chemical refineries at this point.
However, Thread's production is only supported by 1 optimization, so his production will be lacking greatly in behind.
And carbon is going through the roof.
Yeah.
So is
online.
silicon, because glass may not be as well supported.
Currently, almost
and
everyone
electronics also consume silicon.
Currently, almost everyone is in big deficit of carbon. -4 from Thread, -2 from Morgan, -1.5 from DT, and +3 from Clippy. So Clippy is going to get some good money from this.
Pirates.
And Clippy is also optimizing carbon. Let's see, how many carbon mines does Clippy running is the big question.
I see double.
The engineers have advanced our production.
Oh, there it is.
I think DT
and of course, that's where pirates are hitting.
I think DT will be able to buy Thread without much problem at this point, at this pace.
Optimization routine successful.
Things might alter the situation, like this power money Thread is getting from it. It's the best tile right now. However, this power money won't last forever.
The black market is open for business.
And right now, Death Tacticus has about 350k in assets, and Trat is approaching 200, so it's about 150 gap there.
I think at this point, Trat just sell out of DT and let other players get into DT stocks.
The engineers have advanced our production.
Because there's no way Trat is going to finish the buy before DT does.
And basically hope that as he gets out of those stocks, that will encourage DT to switch targets.
Yeah. However, I don't think DT will switch target in any case, because first, Thread is a good sub with good optimization, and second, DT wants to take the... It is a meta game, so he wants the Team A to get less points from winning this tile.
Although he won't necessarily know that.
I think he will. At this point, he would have known that. It looks like very true.
Yeah, have to guess the play style, because we do play with Masquerade, so the players don't see who each other are. They get pseudonyms to
Our methods
go with each other.
to improve. The black
However,
market is
while
online.
DT does have a full sub on track, who is going to earn lots of money, Clippy and Morgan had also a considerable amount of money.
Pirates.
Clippy
I
is
hate those filthy
optimizing
bandits.
lots of markets, and because Clippy has perfect steal, he can also choose to go
Optimization
into
routine
offer
successful.
market.
And the other thing we should note is that Clippy now has 5 perfect optimizations, and actually
Yeah.
more optimizations than any other player. And when elites get a perfect optimization, they get an additional claim. So Clippy now has 5 additional claims to go and make even more profits with. And this is one of the reasons elites come back in the late
engineers
game
have
is
advanced our production.
they can get into everything and be very efficient while doing it.
Although Clippy might be missing out on key
Our
markets
methods
like
continue
Glass
to
would be making
improve.
a lot of money if he had optimized at least 2 in it. And DT, look, anticipating that the trajectory of the market prices is not going up anymore, he has built an offer market which is going to earn solid amount of, let's see, 770 per second or 47k per launch.
And we'll also know that the Trat sub has gone into one off-world and just built another, so there that should give some indication of what the market thinks about this.
Yeah.
Now, I guess the
Optimization
interesting
routine
question here is for
successful.
Clippy is, does Clippy split the buy of Death Tacticus with Morgan?
The engineers have advanced our production.
I think that works.
Our
If Clippy
methods
thinks
continue to improve.
he can earn more money than DT, and I think that can be the case. He has much more optimization, although not in the advanced markets. So I think Clippy should go for the split buy on DT before the threat sub is going to earn too much money for DT.
Especially because the Trat sub is in 2 off-worlds at the
Yeah.
moment, so now that that's built, it's just going to happen. Now, one of the things I would like to see here is mutinies are only 50k, and the Trat sub does not defend itself.
I wonder what goes on in there.
So, whereas Death Tacticus has a goon squad on his off-world that you'd have to get through, and there's not really any good goon poppers here. The off-world markets of the Trat sub are not going to be defended because any goon squads on them leave when Trat
Optimization routine
was bought out.
successful.
So someone buys a goon on that and then can do a launch or
The
2
engineers
for
have
a
advanced our
profit. You
production.
take that money away from DT and give it to yourself.
What I'd like to point out from Clippy is that Clippy is stalling out on this money-making potential because Clippy does have 800k in hand, but that cash is not rising fast. This is because the market is dying onward, and Clippy should have gotten into at least one off-road beforehand.
Price manipulations to begin shortly.
But what Clippy appears to be doing is going into Pleasure Dome after Pleasure Dome. Now, the thing about this is there's diminishing returns to all these Pleasure Domes. So,
Yeah. Clippy
The
should have
Pleasure
focused
Dome is
more on
fully
off-road
operational.
instead of staying in these 5 electrolysis reactors that doesn't make money, or the steel mill that he doesn't need unless he's going to build an off-road, which he didn't. So that is a big missed opportunity there. Clippy will need 200k to buy Death Tacticus, and DT will need 170k to buy Clippy. And DT is currently earning more money than Clippy, so he will be able to secure this buy earlier than Clippy will be able to do on DT.
yeah. Now, it looks like Clippy is trying for a quick uranium hack to make uranium go even higher.
That can work.
Because his uranium mines are earning 1,600 a second apiece. But and that may get him. So he has the buy on him now.
Clippy
So if he
does
has
have the
anything
buy,
in progress,
but he
he
shouldn't
needs to
wait.
cancel it and sell everything.
Clippy shouldn't
The
wait for this hack to
optimization-
go through.
Yeah, just get the buy, because DT is looking for
Yeah.
that buy, and
DT got Clippy. There was a missed opportunity.
yes. Clippy had got Death Tacticus. This would be a very different game, but now even though Morgan has a lot of cash on hand, Death Tacticus is just such a high price and has 2 subs,
Yeah.
an off-world of his own. It's just a matter of time. He'll just be able to purchase through Morgan's stock. Quite easily, and it's just a matter of time before this game is over.
Yeah. I think DT's experience as this kind of situation where they're in a close, tight race between 2 players, and whoever who scrapes the money out of the hidden places like nanotechnology, hit launches, optimizations, can take the buy from other person who already has 100%, and we see this happening. We saw this happening this game. Well played, DT.
Indeed, well played. And that was an exciting game there. Things going back and forth. And as said earlier, elites can make it back into this game, so don't take your eye off them. But if you are an elite, make sure you take that money advantage when you got it. When you're in that race, just make sure you know if you can get the buyout, cancel things, and get that buy. Right.
DT did well in the chose the good market in the early game, and then went into optimizations and optimized good markets earlier than anyone else. And then after he got the buy on track, he let the sub grow themselves, and then he also built his own off-road market, and it went well with these onward prices. Like, if onward was very strong, Elite could have taken the lead back. However, Elite did not notice that this price is not going anywhere. They're going just down. So well played, DT.
Well played. And one thing to notice that if you see a lot of optimization centers out in the mid to late game, that's the pretty much the one way prices die. If you notice that, you'll probably notice that maybe you'll get a very late game with off rolls that matter on series.
Okay, with the victory here, team.
Congratulations to DT, and thank you all for watching.
Thank you all for watching. Team D will take 2.25 points from victory of this game.
Very well.